maybe some of your guests have talked about this, is that we've been conditioned to think of our biology as this soft, gooey, sticky, wet stuff, inside the cells. And that is one way of thinking of us. But now scientists are looking at us from a perspective of information technology. These are IT perspectives. And so the discoveries, they're not showing up in biology books. They're showing up in engineering journals like IEEE, and these engineering. Who's reading those? I mean, my community's not reading.
Sure.
But let me just give you an example. There was the Journal of Advanced Computing Technology, which I don't read, and most of my colleagues don't as well, unless we're researching a book or something, came out with an article, and it showed that human DNA is literally a fractal antenna, is the term that they use. So what's that mean? We think of antennas being tuned to something very specific, like a specific TV station or radio station or, CB station or whatever. Fractal antennae are receiving multiple signals from a broad spectrum of bandwidth simultaneously. We're pulling in information from the world around us all the time across this broad spectrum, and then we're transducing it into meaningful signals in our bodies. That's a very different way of thinking of the human body. So I'll just run through this really quick. What the science is showing, 50 trillion cells in the body. Every cell is a micro circuit. It's a gated circuit is what engineers call it. It's got input, output, all the functions within our cells. They function as transistors, as resistors, as capacitors that are massaging that information. Every cell has a voltage of about 0.07 volts. Say, well, that's not very much, but you do the math. 50 trillion times 0.07 is over 3 trillion volts of 3.5 trillion volts of electrical potential, which is
in our body.
In our bodies. And we don't actualize it all the time. But what if you could harness that for your own healing, or to optimize cognition, optimize whatever it is we're going to do in our lives? But it doesn't stop there, because we're receiving photons of information. We're transmitting photons of information. We already said the DNA in our bodies, our DNA stores information. And let me just use the terminology and see if you've heard this before. The DNA in our bodies stores every successful genetic transaction in our species in a way that's transparent, it is immutable, and it's secure. And if that sounds familiar, it should, because that is the basis for what is the new financial system of the world, the decentralized financial system we call blockchain technology. Blockchain technology mimics the way information is stored in the DNA of our body.
Really?
So once again, I'm saying all this that we build around us is mirroring what we already do in our bodies.